Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we have the patch 11.2 reveal. It's called the Ghosts of Koresh. There's a nice video on it here. You can watch that on the World of Warcraft channel if you like. But we're just going to go through the main parts here, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. It was better than I expected, if I'm being completely honest. So we'll go through all the little topics here. I'll give my reactions and my thoughts on them. So continue with the War Within campaign, of course. The new zone, Koresh, I believe that is like the ethereal homeland or something like that. The new city hub, Talzavesh, the Veiled Market. So Talzavesh was like a working city back in Shadowlands. It was a dungeon as well, but this is actually going to be a city now, which is really cool. New raid, Manaforge Omega. This raid looks really cool from some of the images that they put out for this. It's a very big raid. At Manaforge, you know, might bring you back to the Burning Crusade days, going to Netherstorm and stuff like that. It looks cool to me. New upgradable artifact, the Reshi Wraps. This is a cloak, I believe. We'll see it when we go down. New feature, phase diving. I haven't looked into that at all yet. The new delve, something we expect now. There's a new system, Ecological Succession. We'll look more into that when we get to it. A new dungeon. This completely blew me away. That means we had a new dungeon in each patch. Now there is a planned one last patch in this, so maybe they had more time to create new dungeons. But we have a new dungeon, Ecodum Aldani. This dungeon looks cool early on. We haven't seen it yet, of course, like played it yet, but it seems cool early on. I also have a lot of Burning Crusade nostalgia. Keep that in mind. Season 3 updated dungeon pool. The dungeon pool looks really good. We'll get to that. New class updates, new class sets, and new PvP updates. So let's go ahead and go through this. Continue the War Within campaign. The Ghost of Koresh, the campaign continues as more pieces in a troubling puzzle fall into place. With the release of the content update, players will be able to immerse themselves in War Within story. Koresh and Spectre of Old Enemy looms large. Forces of Ill-Intent are determined to bring forth Demencius, and all devouring once more to finish the ethereals should he arise. Azeroth will also be in peril from this dangerous Void Lord. So it's just kind of like setting up the Void and stuff like that, which is, you know, what we're going to be dealing with as we go into the midnight expansion and into the rest, the kind of the future World of Warcraft. Like Dragonflight was like a filler thing, and this is like the introduction into the newer World of Warcraft, you might say. The new version of it, whatever. New zone, the Shattered World of Koresh. Hopefully, no, this is immediately giving me, the picture of it immediately gives me a little bit of Korthia vibes. Please don't be like Korthia. Home of the Ethereals, Koresh's fragmented void touch, with shadowy forces working towards bringing Demencius back in the world. Illyria, Locust Walker is there. Explore Talzavesh Veiled Market, work toward restoring the ecosphere and ecodomes, and go phase diving. So we'll have to see what that phase diving is. Return to Talzavesh, the Veiled Market. This is also going to be in the dungeon pool as well. A little bit of a spoiler there. Not just a dungeon, the Ghost of Koresh tells us right here anyways. Veiled Market has been brought from the Shadowlands to serve as a home base for adventurers. So this will be like, instead of the Galagio Hotel of 11.1, the home base is literally Talzavesh, which is a big city, frankly. If the whole city is accessible and stuff, there could also be very a lot like a secrets and stuff in there as well. That's very possible too. The new raid, Manaforge Omega. Okay, so this raid looks really cool from some of the images. This is obviously the image here, but they put out more screenshots and stuff. A massive facility built upon a planet to harvest that cosmic energy. Players will fight their way through this raid dungeon to take on the Shadowguard Ethereals, who have effort towards reviving Demencius. You'll join your allies, ultimately fight Demencius in the cosmic battle of truly epic proportions to save us what could be the end of Azeroth as we know it. So, Demencius, they don't have a picture of him here. They mentioned it. I don't know where they put out the picture. Maybe it was in the video. But it's a gigantic raid boss. Now, some people are going to not like that because it'll be like taking up their whole screen or whatever. But this thing is gigantic. New upgradable artifact, the Reshi Wraps. I believe this is a cloak, like I said. Harness the power of ethereals, see the world through their eyes. An artifact cloak, yep. Can be used to transform into an energy, much like ethereals interact with the world in a new way. You'll use these wraps to take on a new type of content, phase diving. So this is going to be kind of like, my guess is going to be kind of like a horrific vision thing. Now, I told you guys, let's see first before I say that. Enter by using Reshi Wraps to experience a whole new You'll experience new creatures, objectives, world class, new mechanics, all this overlay of this world. You expect to see anything you normally would, treasures, rare creature objects, but there will also be some unique found as warrants. Aid the Constable of Talsvesh by hunting down notorious monsters for fun and profit. Okay, so it's not like that. I thought maybe it was going to be like a Perfect Vision thing, but it's just basically, it's actually kind of just playing on the phase diving. So phasing and sharding and WoW. So it's like a new, you put on the cloak and you enter a different shard. And then there's like different stuff to do in there. So it's just like, it's a way to use the same zone, but do different stuff in the same zone, kind of. Like by literally sharding. New Delve, the Archival Assault. Found within the Azure Vaults within the Dragon Isles, you encounter ethereal pirates, and brokers who are plundering the Delve. Using the Rescue Wraps will unlock unique challenge gateways to bosses. So this actually unlocks stuff to do in the Delve as well. That's pretty cool. So different stuff to do in the Delve. Unfinished business with Nexus Princess Kaiveza as well, as you take her on during the season. So that's from the first raid, a boss there. And then this thing, I haven't read about this yet. The new system, Ecological Succession. Help Venari bring back life back to Koresh with their ecodomes. So again, this is like nostalgia for me, right? This is like Burning Crusade. You'll help fill them with creatures that thrive within the ecosystem. You'll scour previously traveled zones to bring back animals to live with the ecodomes, aid them adjusting to life on Koresh. It's up to you to help transform this barren ecodome into one filled with life and promise for a new future. So I'm wondering if this is going to be like a progression thing to where like it actually changes in looks as you progress it. Maybe it's going to be something like that. That could be cool. Like, you know, you do enough tasks and this ecodome starts building itself up and like looking better and better kind of thing. Think of like when we built Sunwell Plateau or whatever, but in this ecodome or something. I have no idea if that's what it's going to be. That's my takeaway from reading it. But you know, I'm definitely open to it. This isn't normally my type of content, but again, nostalgia, and you know, I'm pretty open to it. New dungeon. Again, I was just very surprised that there's a new dungeon. Ecodome Aldani. Season 3 of The War Within brings in a new dungeon, Ecodome Aldani. This is a 3-boss dungeon, which is normally popular, where you'll encounter a variety of creatures, including devourers, who are consuming the life found there. You'll also face the Wastelanders, who have dug in and learned their purpose within the Ecodome. This new dungeon will be available immediately on normal, heroic, and mythic 0 difficulties. So you'll be able to do this one right when it comes out. You don't have to wait that week or whatever before you get to try it. New dungeon pool. The returning dungeons. Halls of Atonement. So this is a fairly popular dungeon. The Talsvesh stuff. Talsvesh was actually a very popular mega dungeon. Arakara. I'm not thrilled about that. Dawnbreaker. I'm also not thrilled about that. Priory. I actually like Priory. I'm fine with that. And Floodgate. I'm also pretty much fine with that as well. So for me, there's only 2 dungeons in here that I'm like, eh. And Arakara is not that bad, if I'm being honest. And neither is Dawnbreaker. No, basically no dungeon in this. What I can say is this: no dungeon in this makes me go, oh, I really don't want to do that. The closest one for me is Dawnbreaker, and even that wasn't that bad once everyone figured out how to do it. Ecodome Aldani is the new dungeon, of course, and it says Talsvesh will also return as a mega dungeon. So it seems like you'll be able to do the Talsvesh mega dungeon stuff as well, and it'll be scaled up to proper level. Checkpoints are also evolving into waystones with a more visual representation of unlocked checkpoints. So this is like the delve thing. So you'll unlock checkpoints in a dungeon, and it'll look like this the thing in the delve kind of. New icon will appear on the map showing you where the waystones are and where they can be found. So that's kind of cool. Unlock checkpoints if you want to. New class updates. So we are getting updates to Shadow Priest, Brewmaster, Frost DK, Unholy DK, and it says many more, but that probably just means there's going to be some slight changes, and we can probably expect the bigger changes, basically DKs, Brewmasters, and Shadow Priest. And I assume, if I'm just being completely, if they're redoing Frost and Unholy, Blood's probably going to get a lot of changes as well, just on the class side alone, but we'll see. New class sets. New season comes the new class sets. For me, Paladin one appears to be the one back here. Not really thrilled with the Paladin one. However, some of these look really cool. I like the Mage one. I like the Warrior one. I like the Warlock one. And I don't know what every single one is. Just by looking, I assume this is like the Rogue one right here. The Paladin one, you can barely see. It's way in the back. I'm not thrilled about the Paladin one. I assume that's Paladin. I wish this was the Paladin one because it has the Paladin color on it right there. And it looks sick. But I believe that will be the Warrior one. PvP updates. Several PvP talents will be updated. Players will also undertake a new world quest to vanquish their foes on Vanquisher's Wake Island. So trying to do some world PvP style stuff when it comes to that. Obviously, PvP has been a little bit of an afterthought for a long time in World of Warcraft. Just kind of the way it is. I'm not saying I like it or dislike it, but it is kind of the way it is. So anyways, I'm pretty excited for this. A lot of it, I mean, I expected there to be a lot of ethereal stuff going on. I didn't necessarily know if the raid was going to be ethereal. I love the aesthetic of it, and I love the idea of it. Like I said, for me, it brings back a lot of, like, you know, Burning Crusade vibes. You literally have the eco domes. You have all these ethereals. You're in a Manaforge Omega. They're summoning void things like they were trying to do back in Burning Crusade. I kind of like that, man. We haven't really we visited with the brokers in Shadowlands, but we haven't fully, like, really revisited the ethereals in a long time. Like, so, like, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for this. In a lot of it is nostalgia, like I've mentioned multiple times, but yeah, I was actually very pleasantly surprised with how interesting a lot of these things seem to be. So we'll obviously see when it comes out. That's when we can actually judge it. But I think it's fine to be hyped for stuff, even if you're skeptical or whatever before it comes out. And I'm definitely really excited about this dungeon pool as well. So, but that'll be it for this one. Maybe I'll do individual videos about different things and break them down more, especially maybe once we know more about them. Maybe do a video about the dungeon pool, etc. Right? We'll see when it comes to that. But yeah, we'll call it quits on this one. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.